If I may, just to read a short reading from the life of Cardinal Reginald Pole, written by his secretary. He writes, "This is how the Cardinal received the news of his mother's death. He'd received several letters from France, Spain, and Flanders, and having read them, he called me, as his custom was, to return the answers. As I was putting them together, I perceived one to be in English, and told him that I need not take that with me, as I did not understand the language. To which he replied, 'I could wish that you did. You might read the good news it contains.' And on my replying, 'I hope your Excellency will make me partaker of it,' hitherto, he said, 'I have thought myself indebted to the divine goodness for having received my birth from one of the most noble and virtuous women in England. But from henceforth my obligation will be much greater, for I understand that I am now the son of a martyr. May God be thanked and praised.' I was distressed at his news, but he consoled me, saying, 'We must rejoice, because now we have one more patron to intercede for us in heaven.' He then retired to his oratory for the space of 1 hour, after which he emerged in his usual good spirits. It was not that he did not love his mother, for he always spoke of her with great affection, but rather that he had given the grace not to be weighed down by such sad news." This is an extraordinary account of Cardinal Pole receiving the news of the martyrdom of his mother, Margaret, Countess of Salisbury. As with any news, there is, of course, much more behind it than the headline revealed. That extract from the letter, and indeed the history of Blessed Margaret, can be found in this diocesan publication. Her connection with Sussex, with Midhurst in particular, makes her one of our diocesan saints. If anyone would like a copy of it, we have some spares in the presbytery. We could find a way of sending you a copy if you wanted to email or to phone, or indeed some of those texts have been copied, I notice, onto the Universales website. In essence, what you'll read there is the tension between the church and the state. King Henry VIII used to say of Margaret, when she was governess to Princess Mary, later Mary Tudor, that his kingdom did not contain a nobler woman than the Countess. But of course, then came the great matter, as it was called, concerning his divorce from Queen Catherine, and it is well known the importance of nobility and of truth and of conscience found itself undermined by politics and by the will of the king. The history records, the reports of the interrogators give us some indication of the remarkable steadfastness of this woman, this elderly lady now approaching 70 years of age. Not only did her questioners fail to extract any admission of guilt, even after rough handling, it is clear they both feared and grudgingly respected her. She refused to give up that conscience, that truth. And the history continues that Cromwell was unable to bring her to trial for lack of evidence, so he persuaded the subservient Parliament to pass an act by which she was condemned for treason purely on suspicion without any trial. It was that led to her martyrdom, and it's that leads to the response of her son, proud of a mother who'd lived out faith and truth, even under the most trying of circumstances. Perhaps it was those very qualities, almost certainly, those very qualities of his mother which had inspired a vocation in the son. I think we often underestimate the importance and the influence of parents and grandparents. There's a wonderful tradition that used to mark that when a mother of a priest died, his ordination stole was wrapped around her hands as she was laid to rest. This would be a good day to thank God for the gift of faith that has brought us together this morning, for the great gifts that you share as parents and grandparents with the church and the community. And on this day, Thursday, traditionally dedicated to prayer for vocation, to pray that our young people may be inspired by example, may hear that call to priesthood or to religious life. A wonderful day to give thanks too for those who have heard that call, and particularly this day to remember in our prayers our own shepherd, Bishop Richard, who celebrates the 5th anniversary of his installation as our bishop, as Bishop of Arundel and Brighton. We pray that Blessed Margaret Pole will both inspire us and intercede for us.